All right. Let's go. This is Armin Gideon here. All right. Here to talk to you about the highest fashion. All right. Here to talk to you about the highest fashion. Because in one of my many different hats in business that I wear, I'm a wedding planner. We're making preparations for the greatest wedding ever. And everything has to be perfect. The bridegroom is coming. All right. We finished the work. We've spread the gospel to every corner of the globe. We've taken the handoff and we've run like a running back and we've not fumbled the ball. We've handed it off touchdown after touchdown in this Game of Thrones. And so now all that's left is the Jubilee wedding feast. So we got to deal with fashion. All right. The fashion industry, the worldwide global fashion industry that y'all are dealing with is a direct opposite, a flawed counterfeit, knockoff, bootleg, because they want to create and perpetuate a whole new image. All right, so in order for the wedding feast to happen, we have to demolish. I'm bringing in the construction crew, and we tearing down the new image that they trying to build. We tearing down the Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel is the spirit, the same spirit that was behind that operation is the same spirit that's in these individuals behind putting out this artificial image. Nimrod said, I want to make a name for myself. Yeah, everybody trying to be famous. Everybody trying to be a fashion icon. That was the spirit behind the whole defiance of God. He wanted to make a name for himself. All right? So listen. It comes down to the quality of the stones. All right? Fashion starts with the commodity of the gemstone, and everything else is added on after that. Right? So the highest fashion is the stone that the builders rejected. Right? That image of the stone that the builders rejected has become a capstone, that cornerstone. That cornerstone is the King of Kings diamond cornerstone. King of diamonds cornerstone. So you dealing with imposter stones out here. He tried to give the builders himself, the ultimate image, but like it said, the stone that the builders rejected. They didn't want the original. They didn't want the prototype. Then he said, let us make man and woman in our image, after our likeness created he them. It's talking about Elohim and Adonai. Adonai is the queen of diamond cornerstone. The matching queen of diamond cornerstone is Adonai. Elohim is the King of Kings, the stone that the builders rejected. So you have imposter stones out here. The word says that Lucifer is going to impersonate an angel of light. Lucifer will impersonate. He will impersonate. He is an imposter. He will impersonate an angel of light because he's not an angel of light. He's fallen. He's cast down. He's demonic. He's defunct. He has no power. He has no light. Only power he can get is from let us make man and woman in our image after our likeness. So the cornerstone that the builders rejected, Lucifer leads the builders who rejected the cornerstone. Right? The cornerstone has 4 corners, and I'm going to give you the 4 corners. The 4 corners that identify the cornerstone, and these are why the builders rejected them. And this is how you can know if you are an imposter stone, if you're dealing with imposter stones, or if you're dealing with the highest fashion, the cornerstone diamond, King of King cornerstone diamond, right? So 4 cornerstones for you. First, and it all has to do with love. First, love the Lord your God with all your heart. Simple. First corner. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Second corner. Love your neighbor as yourself. That's the second corner of the cornerstone. They got 4 corners. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. And the second command is equal to it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Last 2 corners. A new command I give to you. Love each other as I have loved you. Love your brother as I have loved you. Last corner. Husbands, love your wives like I have loved the church. Come down to love. If you are missing any of those 4 dimensions of the cornerstone, no, that's the 4 corners. Then the cornerstone also has 3 dimensions. We 3-dimensional beings. All right, you got height, you got width, and you got length. It's a 3-dimensional. The stone is 3-dimensional, right? So, love your father, love the Lord your God, the Father, with all your heart. Love the Son, because he said, when you've done it to the least of these, my brethren, you've done it unto me. Love your neighbor as yourself. When you've done it to the least of these, you've done it unto me. 2 dimensions. And then the third, you will produce fruit. The Holy Spirit is the fruit of the Spirit. When you have the first dimension and the second dimension, you can't have the first dimension and claim to love your Father with all your heart. Listen up, Adventists. That's the Pharisees. That's the commandment keepers. That's the Pharisees with the Talmud and with all of the rabbinical laws that they added. They could give you regulation after regulation after regulation, but they wasn't never taking the gospel into Babylon. They wasn't never taking the word. All right, we talking about the highest fashion on the world has ever seen is the cornerstone, right? And the only way that you recreate that we are in his image. So every time we have a child and every time we go out here every day and live our life, we are the image, the reflection of the image of Elohim, women, the reflection of Adonai. And you don't, if you, because of your inability to love, which is the opposite of love, is hate. You got to have both dimensions. You can't have love. The world tells you that, we just got to love everybody. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. Once again, the spirit is the fruit of the spirit kicks in. Once you align yourself with both of the first two dimensions, then the Holy Spirit has to kick in and produce the fruit of love in you. It's the third dimension. All right. So when he created Adam and Eve in the beginning, there was a perfect image, and the builders rejected that image, and everything you see, and I'm going to show you what their image of fashion is, and it's imposter stones, because there is no love. If you have a industry that's based on cannibalizing other individuals, you rejecting the cornerstone, and you're an imposter stone. You're an imposter fashion. You're knockoff. All right, we gonna get you the highest the very first fashion line that was rolled out was the fashion line of redemption. We call it Laish. The first time he put real garments on human beings. Remember, the original fashion was their naked, bare naked image reflecting him. The creator molded Adam, molded Eve, identical to his bride, Adonai. All they had was, she had the gown of Adonai on, the righteous gown of Adonai, and Adam had the righteous robe of Elohim. It's first fashion line. But then, when Lucifer, the fallen one, tried to break up that first family, and then they ran back to their creator and entered into the covenant, and he said, okay, if y'all want this covenant, y'all want to make this new deal, this the Father's wish new deal with me, all right, I'll accept it. Here, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be the sacrifice. He took a lamb, he sacrificed the lamb, and he used the skins from the lamb, which was himself. They already in his image, and then he put his image on them again to cover them up. Because the attack that this fashion industry, the main undercover attack, is a sexual one. He covered their private parts, because the attack from the enemy to change you from the image of God into the imposter image that they want to erect, it's a sexual attack. When you engage in the appetite, the counterfeit, they call it orientation. Yeah, alright. They call it orientation. It's a genetically modified, that's why they GMO, genetically modified orientation. That's right. Satan from day one has been genetically modifying humanity through sexual perverted appetites. Now, I'll show it to you. And that's what the fashion industry is built on. Those who run the fashion industry, they offer those offerings, those sexually perverted offerings of defilement that are opposite and contrary and genetically modify the orientation of anybody who's dealing with them in a industry. And that's the image that they want to portray and put forth. And that's the image. That's why they call it a what did your girl Katie Couric on CNN, gender revolution. Gender revolution. Anytime you see the word revolution, it means war. There was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against Satan and his angels, the dragon and his angels, and cast them out. And he drew 1/3 of the stars of heaven with him. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because the dragon has come down to you, and he is as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, because he knows he hath a short time. That was 7,000 years ago, and he knew he had a short time then. So how much time do you think he has now? They desperate. Watch it. Check it out. I'm going to show you just a little bit. All day long, I'm going to show you this industry, and I'm going to show you how we destroying this model because it's built on hate. Watch it. Nah, you would do that to me.
Story about clothing. It's about the clothes we wear, the people who make these clothes, and the impact that it's having on our world. It's a story about greed and fear, power and poverty. It's complex as it extends all the way around the world, but it's also simple, revealing just how connected we are to the many hearts and hands behind our clothes. I came into this story with no background in fashion at all, beginning with nothing more than a few simple questions. What I've discovered has forever changed the way I think about the things I wear, and my hope is that it might just do the same for you.
Maybe just start and say your name and talk about how this kind of began.
My name is Lucy Siegel. I am a journalist and broadcaster based in the UK, and I have been obsessed, consumed with the environmental and social impacts of the fashion industry for about a decade. Well, I love everything about clothes. You know, I love the poetry, I love the fabric, I love the colors, I love the textures, I love the way that they make you feel. You know, they are our chosen skin. Well, I had the classic massive closet, clothes everywhere, bags constantly coming into my house, you know, every day, every other day with some other item in, and never had anything to wear. I could never put together a coherent outfit. We communicate who we are to a certain extent through clothing, and this is again throughout history. You know, you have the trends at court, you know, again, Marie Antoinette making these huge hats. It's always been, it's our personal communication in many ways. That's what interests me, that it is fundamentally a part of what we wish to communicate about ourselves. And we used to have a system, a fashion system, where people would go to the shows. So they would do spring, summer, autumn, winter, and those kind of ran like clockwork for very many years. Okay, rip that up, throw it out the window. That has absolutely nothing to do with the fashion industry today. It has been reinvented.
The shift is moving ruthlessly towards a way of producing which only really looks after big business interest.
Growing up, I never gave much thought to anything other than the price of the clothes that I bought, usually making choices based on style or a good deal. Looking back, I learned that for a long time, most of our clothing was actually made right here in America. As recently as the 1960s, we were still making 95% of our clothes. Today, we only make about 3%, and the other 97% is outsourced to developing countries around the world.
All right, I'm going to summarize real quick and let you go. 2 key points. She said, fashion is the way that we communicate. Understand, remember, I was telling you about the Tower of Babel, right? Tower of Babel, Nimrod wanted to make his name for himself. The whole Hollywood and the Oscars and the red carpet walk and everything is about, what fashion icon you got on your, who are you wearing, who are you making a name for yourself. When you get a certain name, then it allows you to wear the fashion designers, the top fashion designers, right? But remember, God came down to shut that whole operation down. Like, you ain't making no name off of my name. My children, I give my children a name. Nimrod was a bastard, son of Satan. That's why he ain't have a name. God's sons are called the sons of renown, the men of old. The sons of renown. If you look up the word renown, it means famous, acclaimed. God's sons, Adam, Seth, Enoch. It's 14 of them. From Adam all the way to Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the flood. So, they are the original fashion. Nimrod was trying to do something different, and then God confounded their language. So the fashion industry that you see today, now they trying to communicate the same, I want to be famous, the same counter defiance to the original image of God, which you looking at. So then Cain gets marked and creates the alternate image that Nimrod and Semiramis fell. They look just like me too, Nimrod and Semiramis, African, Fertile Crescent, of the Chaldeans, Babylonian individuals, look like me, but chose to follow Cain instead of to follow God in his original image. So, first thing she says, now they're trying to communicate because God gave all of them dead languages and scattered them. So they trying to communicate now through their clothing. But what they've done is they hate the image of God. They hate Cain killed Abel. And God cursed Cain for killing Abel because Abel chose to follow God properly, and Cain wanted to have another orientation, a different orientation. And so when God didn't accept his offering, remember the stone that the builders rejected, Cain rejected that stone, so God rejected his offering. You can't give me any type of worship you want to give me. You can't give me any old type of love, and I'm sure not going to accept the hate that you put forth to your brother. And now, this is the last part. You heard that they said up until the 60s, The United States of America made 95% of their clothing. Now they make 3%. They shipped your jobs overseas on purpose to Bangladesh and the poorest countries on the earth, destroyed the middle class, took all of the manufacturing, not just in the fashion industry, in every industry across the country on purpose. Remember, we had just come through the 60s. They had just went to the world wars, and they was taking us into the Industrial Revolution. Remember, we don't need slavery no more. We don't need to capitalize on all of these people no more for slavery, because now we got the Industrial Revolution, industrial colonialism. Matter of fact, there's too many of them. So let's ship the jobs overseas, keep them super poor. Everybody, not just the colored people. If you're not a millionaire or billionaire, listen, if you're not in the top 3% of, I don't care what your color is, they could care less if you live or die. I'm just telling you. So y'all might as well get down with the cornerstone, who is all things to all people. This fashion of redemption. He clothed us twice in himself. Reject this industry all day long. I'm going to show y'all. We got the new model. We got that Laish model. It's called we live the lay life through Baymac. Be about your money at all costs. The righteous money. Lay up. Those who are rich in this world do good and lay up treasures in the life that is truly life to come. Supposed to be wealthy in both this world and the one to come. But they riches, it say they can't get through an eye of a needle. It would be easier for a camel to get through an eye of a needle for these type of rich people to get to the kingdom. He ain't saying you can't be wealthy. You just can't use their model or their images that they're portraying to you. All right? They the imposter stones. I'll show you all day today. Armin Gideon, Laish. That's right. It's the fashion of, it's the lifestyle and culture of redemption, including hip hop, we're gonna get into it.